Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel APM Guide. As a part of our APM server command line argument series, in this video we'll discuss about the two arguments, that is the use drivers argument and use plugin argument. Okay, we'll see how we can able to use these two arguments with our APM server and what are the uses of this argument. Okay, and if you see in this video, we'll cover these three scenarios. That is, running the APM server without using these arguments and running the APM server using these arguments with these arguments. And we'll discuss the uses also. Okay. So basically, we understand what this exactly this arguments is. That is, use hyphen drivers. Okay, when you use this argument with the APM server, a list of drivers to be activated. Okay, by default, all installed drivers will be activated. So, what exactly mean by? Okay, we'll cover these scenarios. Then we can observe the what's exactly uses also. Okay, now first of all, I'll open the command prompt and we run the APM server normally, yeah, okay, without using any arguments. You can observe the difference here. Okay, so APM. So I'm starting with my APM server. So when I say APM and click on enter, you observe that my APM server is getting started here. Okay, when you go through the logs, right? So you third, like I say that attempting to load driver UI automator 2. Okay, in next I said attempting to load driver espresso, attempting to load driver windows, and then it is going to the path of it. Okay, requiring drivers. So at this particular path we have these drivers, and it says Android UI Automator 2 driver was successfully loaded in 2.3 seconds, and Espresso driver has been successfully loaded in 2.3 seconds. So same for Windows driver has successfully loaded in 2.3. Okay, same for you can see Geeko, Chromium, XUIT test drivers. Okay, so when I run and it shows the time to take to load these drivers here. Okay, so I'm running this APM server without using this argument, that is a use hyphen driver. Okay, so what exactly mean by if you run the APM server without using these argument, automatically APM server will try to load all the available drivers default. Okay, means it will try to load all the APM, all the drivers. Okay, and what exactly happened? Okay, suppose in my system I have around 6 drivers. Okay, but in my case I am using only UI automated 2 driver, means I am running my scripts only on Android. Okay, in that case, I want only the UI automated driver to be loaded. Okay, but when I run this APM without any arguments, what happens? All the default, all the drivers will be automatically loaded. Okay, and if you observe that XUI test driver is not needed because I'm running in Android, and Expresso is not needed. Okay, and Geeko is not needed. Okay, so unnecessary, I am creating a load on the APM server and the RAM. Okay, so by this thing, what happens? The performance will be go down. Okay, performance will be go down. So instead of loading all the drivers. Okay, suppose I am working on Android only, so I want only Android Android means that is I want to use only UI automated driver. Suppose I am working on iOS platform, then I want to load only the XYT test driver. So how I can able to do that one? So that the execution will be fast and the APM server do not have the load to take load to all the drivers. Okay, how we can able to do it? Okay, now we have run it normal, right? Now I'll close I stop the APM server here, Control C, and now I'll run the APM server with this argument, that is a double hyphen u use hyphen driver. This is the argument. And say suppose I'm working on Android testing, platform testing. So then I had to use the driver UI automator to driver, right? So I have to mention only UI automator to driver. That's it. Okay. So you can observe the log. See, previously when I say APM, it is saying attempt to load all these drivers. Now I have specified the APM server that I want to load only this particular driver. Okay. So you can observe the log. So you can see the log between the previous one, and you can see that you can say welcome to APM, and it's a non-default server arguments. It is a use driver UI automator 2 because I have specified to load only UI automator 2 driver. So it has loaded the APM server loaded the UI automator 2 driver. Okay. So all other drivers are not loaded because I'm working on Android because I need only UI automator 2 driver load should load. And you can see the performance also. The use is performance. Okay. See, when I run the APM server with the default arguments, you can see it took 2 seconds to load the Android UI automator to driver. But when I specify the particular driver should be loaded, you can see the how much time it took, only 1.4 seconds. And unnecessarily all the drivers are not loaded, only the particular driver which I have mentioned is loaded. That is the use of this use hyphen driver argument. Okay, what all the drivers you want to load, you can load it here. Okay, so in previous example we have seen with particular one driver here. Suppose I want to use two drivers, how we can able to use this one? So I close the APM server driver. Then now I will say I want to use multiple drivers, how we can able to use that? See, APM, we have to use argument use double hyphen driver equal to, and I had to give UI automator to driver, and then I want to use the XUIT test driver also, XUIT test driver. So both driver I want to use here. Okay, and I not want to use this Espresso, Geeko, Chromium, all this thing because I want only two drivers I want to use here. Okay, so I click on run here. So you can see the observe the logs here. So it says non-default server orgs use drivers UI automator to driver and XOIT test driver. Means now I want to activate only two drivers. That is the UI automator 2 and XY2. Okay, and this is how we can able to use this use hyphen drivers argument to run the specific driver, the single driver. Or if you want to use multiple drivers, you can able to mention like this here. Okay, that is the use hyphen driver equal to the drivers. Okay, you can multiple, you can run it here. Okay, you can try. You can try with UI automated to driver, XUI test driver, and if I want to give Chromium, I can give Chromium. So only three drivers will activate here. So by this thing, what is the use of this particular argument? Means it will stop unnecessary loading of the drivers. Okay, and you can able to load only the required drivers. Okay, and by do this one the performance also will increases because we are decreasing the load on the APM server. Okay, that is the use of this argument, that is the double hyphen use hyphen driver. Okay, that is the first argument. Okay, so it says list of driver to activate. By default, all install drivers will be activated. If you use APM without any argument, means all that is a default case when you're running for APM server. Okay, all drivers will be activated. Suppose I want to specify only the specified drivers should be loaded. I can able to use this argument, that is the double hyphen use hyphen drivers argument, and I need to mention what driver I need to activate here. Okay, that is the use of the first argument. And now I can see the second argument. Okay. Now we can see the second argument, that is the double hyphen use hyphen plugins. Okay, it is straightforward. Okay, whenever we want to work with the plugins, okay, whatever the plugins it may be, okay, to activate the plugins, we have to use this particular argument, that is a double hyphen use hyphen plugins. Okay, I had to use must and should. I had to use this argument. Okay, to activate the APM server with that particular plugin. Okay, so this is very, very useful. And it says a list of plugin to activate. To activate all plugins, the value should be array which is single item all. Okay, so what exactly mean by? Okay, suppose see in my case, I go here. So I want to go to the, just a minute. Okay, see in this case, I say APM plugin list. Okay, this is command I'm running to list the list of plugins installed my system. Okay, so when I run this one, it says listing available plugins here. Okay, so I want to use only one plugin here. Okay, what I can do, I had to mention the particular plugin here. Suppose I want to activate all the plugins, then I had to use this case, that is the I had to use this option called all. If I use option called all, automatically all the plugins which are installed in my system will activate, means which will automatically loads. Okay, that is the use of this all here. Okay, now we will demonstrate how we can able to run this one. Okay, APM space double hyphen use hyphen plugin. Okay, and now I want to load only one um, plugin here. So I use the gestures. So I had to give the name of the plugin here. Okay. So now I'm activating only plugin, that is gestures. Okay. I'm running the APM server with only gestures plugin here. So now you can observe the log here by APM server. You can see it says attempting to load the plugin gesture. Yeah. Attempting load up plugin gesture, and it says use plugins gesture. Is when you observe the log which is generated by APM server, I am only loading the gestures plugin. You can see gestures plugin has successfully loaded in 0.78 seconds. Means I not want to load all the plugins here. Okay, this is how we can able to use this argument, that is a use hyphen plugins to activate the APM server with particular plugin. Okay, so now I am using the only one here. Okay, but I had to use all here. Suppose I have around 5 here. You have to do, but if you have around more than 2 or 3, okay, so all the plugins I want to activate, how I can able to do it? So now if you say, now I had to use APM space double hyphen use hyphen plugin, and instead of giving the name of the plugins, I had to give all. Okay, just say all, give the value as all. Automatically, what all the plugins which are installed in my system, the APM server will load all the plugin here. So if you observe the logs here, it says use plugins all, and if you see the log, attempting to load plugin gesture, attempting to load plugin images here, because I have given the value as all. If I give only one plugin here, the name of the plugin says attempting to load the plugin gesture. Okay, so if I give all, what are all the plugins installed in my system, the APM server default will load all the plugins. That is the use of all here. Okay, so we see one more case here. Suppose instead of giving all, I want to, suppose I have 5 plugins, I want to use only 2 plugins. How I can able to do it here? That is the APM space double hyphen use hyphen plugin, okay, equal to, I had to give the name of the plugins here. Okay, so what are the name of the plugins here? That is a gestures, okay, gestures from plugin, comma, images. That's it. So I am asking the APM server load with these just plugins here. So I had to give these options here. So you can see now you can see the logs here. Now it has given the log differently here. You can see use plugins, gestures, comma, images. Okay, means whatever the name of the plugin I have mentioned with this argument, the particular APM server will load all these plugins, mentioned plugins here. Okay, so this is how we can able to load single plugin. Okay, we can able to load single plugin, that is by using the APM space double hyphen use hyphen plugin equal to the name of the plugin. Okay, and if you want to load all the plugins, then I had to use the value as all. Okay, that is the use hyphen plugin equal to all. If I use the value all, it will load all the plugins. Okay, suppose I want to choose, means I want only out of 5, I want only 2 plugins which are needed for my test. I can mention the name of the plugin. Okay, by using the comma space between. Okay, so you say apm space double hyphen use hyphen plugin equal to gestures comma plugin. So this is how we can able to use this. I will close the APM server. This is how we can able to use these two arguments. That is the double hyphen use hyphen drivers plugin to activate the required plugin, required drivers. Okay, the same case, if I want to activate the APM server with the particular plugin, I had to use the double hyphen use hyphen plugins. And if I want only particular plugin, I had to use the name of particular plugin there. If I use all value, it will activate all the plugins which are installed in my system. Okay, this is the use of this use hyphen drivers argument and use hyphen plugins argument here. Okay, so if you like this video, please click on like button, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thank you.